A friend starts telling you about their problem, and before they've even finished the sentence, your mind is already 3 steps ahead assembling the solution. You have a plan, you have suggestions, you can see exactly what they should do, and when you offer it, sometimes they get quiet or a little frustrated and they say something that stings. I didn't want you to fix it, I just wanted you to listen. If that has ever happened to you, this is going to explain a part of yourself you may have never questioned. You're the fixer, the one people call when something breaks. The one who stays calm in a crisis while everyone else falls apart. You're capable, resourceful, dependable, the person who always seems to know what to do. And on the surface, that's a wonderful thing to be. But underneath that competence, there's often a quieter story. And it's worth understanding because being the person who fixes everything can quietly cost you more than anyone realizes. Let me start with the myth. We treat being a fixer as pure strength, a personality trait, just how some capable people are wired. And part of it is. But for a lot of people, the compulsion to fix isn't only about being helpful. It's about managing a discomfort of your own. When someone you care about is in pain, you feel it too, and fixing their problem is often the fastest way to make your own uneasiness stop. The solution isn't only for them. It's a way to get yourself out of the unbearable feeling of sitting with something you can't control. So let me ask you this. When someone you love is upset, can you actually stay present with their pain without immediately trying to solve it? Or does the urge to fix rise up so fast that you barely notice it's there? To understand where this comes from, we usually have to go back. A lot of natural fixers learned this role very early, often in childhood. Maybe you grew up in a home where things were unstable, where a parent struggled, where you became the responsible one long before you should have had to be. When you're a kid in a chaotic environment, becoming the fixer is brilliant. It gives you a sense of control in a world that feels out of control. It earns you love and approval. It keeps the peace. So you got good at it. Exceptionally good. And then you never stopped because it worked. Here's the thing about a survival skill, though. It doesn't know when the emergency is over. The child who fixed everything to feel safe becomes the adult who can't stop fixing even when nothing is actually broken, even when what the moment needs is not a solution, but simply your presence. The old wiring keeps firing long after the original threat is gone. Let's name what this costs because it's real, and most fixers never let themselves see it. The first cost is in your relationships. When you rush to fix someone's problem, you can accidentally send a message you never intended. You imply they can't handle it themselves. You skip past their feelings and jump to logistics. People often don't want to be managed. They want to be understood. And a fixer with all the best intentions in the world can leave the people they love feeling unheard. The second cost is exhaustion. If you're the one who solves everything, you become the one everyone brings everything to. The weight piles up, and because you're so competent, people rarely think to ask if you're okay because you always seem like you are. You end up carrying 100 problems, most of them not even yours, with no one carrying any of yours. The third cost is the loneliest one. When your entire value feels tied to being useful, you slowly lose the ability to just be. To be loved when you're not producing, to rest without guilt, to receive instead of always giving. Deep down, a lot of fixers carry a quiet fear that if they weren't so helpful, they wouldn't be worth much at all, and that belief will run you into the ground. Let me pause there, because if that last part landed a little too hard, I want you to hear this clearly. You are worth more than what you can fix. The people who truly love you don't keep you around for your solutions. They keep you around for you. Now let's talk about the signs this pattern is running the show. The first sign. You struggle to just listen. Silence in a hard conversation makes you itchy. You fill it with advice because sitting quietly with someone's pain feels almost impossible. The second sign. You take on problems no one asked you to solve. You spot what's wrong and you're already fixing it in your relationships at work and your family whether or not anyone invited you. The third sign. You're uncomfortable receiving help. When someone tries to support you, you deflect, you minimize, you insist you're fine. Being on the receiving end feels unnatural. Maybe even a little threatening. The fourth sign. You feel responsible for other people's emotions. If someone around you is unhappy, you feel it's your job to fix it and you can't fully relax until they're okay. Their feelings become your emergency. If those are familiar, here's the gentler way forward. And it doesn't mean becoming useless or cold. It means learning that presence is often more powerful than solutions. The first practice is to ask before you fix. This one small habit changes everything. When someone shares a problem, ask, do you want help thinking through this or do you just need to vent? That single question shows respect. It gives them the lead, and it saves you from solving a problem they only wanted to be heard about. The second practice is to sit in the discomfort on purpose. The next time you feel that urgent pull to fix, pause. Notice the anxiety underneath it, the feeling you're really trying to escape. Just breathe and stay. You'll discover that you can tolerate another person's pain without rushing to end it, and that your calm, steady presence is often the thing they needed most all along. The third practice, and this is the deep one, is to let yourself be helped. Start small. Let someone carry something for you. Say yes when you'd normally say, "I've got it." Every time you receive instead of fix, you teach that old tired part of you a new truth, that you are allowed to be supported, that your worth was never conditional on your usefulness, that you're allowed to be a person, not just a solution. And here's the reframe I want to leave you with. Your ability to fix things is a genuine gift. The world needs steady, capable people who show up in a crisis. This was never about throwing that away. It's about no longer being trapped by it, about choosing when to fix and when to simply be there instead of fixing on autopilot because you never learned another way to love. Because the most caring thing you can offer someone is not always a solution. Sometimes it's just this. Now, that kind of presence can't fix a problem in an afternoon, but it can hold a person through anything. So here's my question for you. What would it feel like just once to put down the toolbox, to stop trying to solve, and to let yourself simply be with someone, or even with yourself, exactly as things are? And who in your life, maybe including you, has been quietly needing your presence far more than your solutions? If this reached the tired fixer in you, stay with us and remember you were always allowed to be more